How's it going? I'm Dr. J, and this is my guide to playing Dr. Mario and Mario in Smash Ultimate. Obviously, having a guide on two characters in one video is a bit different, so I'd like to start off with some quick background info about the Marios in competitive Smash. Also, I've left timestamps for each section of this guide in the description if you want to skip to a specific part. Mario and Doc are both very balanced characters in every iteration of Smash, and they've always been at least decent characters. People have been arguing over which Mario is better since 2001, and everyone has their own opinion on the subject. In Melee, by general consensus, Doc was in the lead at first, with players like Captain Jack using his punish potential to the fullest. But after a while, people started saying that Mario was better than Doc because of his recovery. A rookie is always dominated with Mario and his combo potential, despite him being seen as a relatively low-tier character. Then you have players like Shroom beating Melee God, and now next-gen Doc players are taking him to the next level, like one of my personal favorite newish Melee players, France. Anyway, in Smash 4 there wasn't much debate. Mario was better in almost every way and his combo game was top tier. Now in Ultimate though, things have changed a lot. Mario's been nerfed and Doc has been buffed. They both received changes that mix up their overall place in the tier list, and now there are very good reasons to back up picking either one. However, they both have a pretty different playstyle, so it's really a matter of what works best for you. Let's get the most obvious differences between the two out of the way. Mario basically has 10 to 15% better movement speed on the ground and more noticeably in the air, and his attacks are just a bit faster. But Doc does equally more damage and knockback on all of his moves. Because of this, Mario is better at rushing people down and running away, making it easier for opponents to make a mistake. But Doc punishes your opponent's mistakes much harder when they make one. Basically, Doc is slightly more reactive, while Mario is more aggressive, if that makes sense. However, Doc still has an amazing combo game, and Mario's knockout and damage dealing power is pretty good. Let's start off simple with jab. Doc's jab used to be much worse than Mario's, but now Doc's is slightly better. It's a little bit harder to land all of Doc's jabs than Mario's, but Doc's jabs do much more damage overall, and now it can be used to jab block for combos and kill setups just like Mario's. However, both of their jabs are extremely useful, and should be a move that you should use a decent amount in most matchups. By the way, I should mention that both Marios really utilize crouch canceling a lot when it comes to close quarters combat, which is just crouching while you're hit so that you receive less hit stun and knockback. This is with every character obviously, but I find it especially helpful on Doc and often Mario as well. Anyway, onto tilts. Both of the Mario's up tilts are solid juggling and combo tools, although neither of them are as good as Mario's up tilt from Smash 4. Up tilt has really bad horizontal range, so it will whiff on smaller grounded opponents, but it's very good as an anti-air attack and combo extender. F tilt is a fast spacing move with decent knockback which can be angled and used in all kinds of situations, from obviously spacing to combos and edge guarding and even a KO at high enough percent. While F tilt can be more reliable and safer, down tilt can be more useful than F tilt in a few situations. Mario's down tilt, like many of his moves, has been nerfed as it sends your opponent away from Mario, making it much harder to follow up. But Doc still sends the opponent straight up, so it can be followed up much easier. Down tilt is an amazing combo starter that can lead to a lot of different things. Now, dash attack got a pretty big nerf in my opinion, especially on Mario's end, although both of them travel farther than in Smash 4. The fact that dash attack no longer ducks down as much means that it's not as safe against projectiles and high hitboxes, and can't be used as creatively for dodging and countering attacks as it used to. The knockback trajectory on Mario's also points away from Mario now rather than towards him like in Smash 4, limiting its use in combos. Again, Doc's dash attack sends opponents straight up, so it's a bit easier to follow up, and the damage has been buffed pretty significantly from Smash 4, so even if you can't follow it up, it's pretty good to land. Dash attack used to be one of my favorite moves on Doc and Melee because of the ducking animation, so I'm glad it still has its uses on him, but Mario's is really not that great in my opinion. For smashes, up smash can be used as a reliable short-range knockout tool or combo starter, but Mario often has a better time following it up I think due to its knockback and his faster airspeed. But Doc's up smash can KO much easier. F smash is shorter on Doc, so it can't be used as safely as Mario's, which is longer and faster, but Doc's F smash is a better punish move when you get a hard read. It also got buffed a lot in terms of damage from Smash 4 for both of them, going from about 14% to 17%. So if you get a solid read, try and look for an opportunity to F smash because it's never a bad move to land. Down smash covers both sides of you, comes out fast, and has a lot of power behind it. It's a very good knockout tool, especially on smaller enemies, and it's a great panic move for less experienced players. Now on to aerials. This is where Mario really shines over Doc in my opinion, as everything has less lag on him and knockback than Doc, so they can start combos easier and Mario moves much faster in the air compared to Doc. Both of their up airs are amazing combo tools and good for catching opponents that like to jump or be above you. Up air is a great combo extender, finisher, and even knockout tool in some cases. Mario can only KO with it by following it up with a stronger attack, pushing them all the way to the top of the stage, or edge guarding after the up air. Doc's, however, is a solid KO move. Back air is a great spacing tool, edge guarding option, and out of shield attack. Strong hit from Bair knocks out with both characters at a decent enough percent. Now, their nairs look exactly the same, but they're opposites in the way. Doc's nair gets stronger as you hold it out, and Mario's, like every similar move in the game, is strongest when it first comes out. This winds up making their uses quite different, as Doc can instantly use nair to start combos and extend them easier, and hold one out on a read for a kill, while Mario uses his late nair or weak nair to start combos, and uses his early nair as a get off me tool and for knockouts. Down air and forward air are also quite different for Doc and regular Mario. Their affairs look the same at first, but the big difference is that Doc's does more damage and knockback and always sends opponents up and away, leading to a KO from almost anywhere with enough percent. Mario's fair is faster and does less damage than Doc's, but the last part of it spikes, so it can be used as a high-risk, high-reward move off stage, or as a combo starter. Down air for Mario has him spin around kind of like Luigi or Doc Cyclone, but with much less mobility, and it's kind of hard to land. It doesn't have great range, and it lasts pretty long, so it's kind of risky, and it doesn't knock out very easily, although it is pretty helpful for combos. Doc's dair is kind of like Ganondorf or Captain Falcon's. It's slower than Mario's down air, but sends the opponent in a meteor smash straight down. It's pretty effective at getting a knockout at high percent or punishing from above, and it looks very stylish. It's also a great tool for tech chasing and comboing, similar to Captain Falcon and Melee, if you know what I mean. It can be tricky to get the timing right on this, especially if you're adding in a fast fall afterwards, so try practicing on a platform, getting short hop and full hop dairs high up, low to the platform, and barely through the platform. For grabs and throws, use down throw to start combos, and use back throw as a kill option at high percent, but that's mostly with Doc. Down throw leads to a ton of stuff at different percents, but the safest follow-up to down throw for Mario at any general percent is usually a nair, since his down throw has been nerfed heavily. Doc, however, has one of the safest and most damaging follow-ups to down throw in the game, with down throw to down B. I'll go over this move more in the special section, but basically it now does a ton of damage, as armor on startup, has a vortex effect that allows for you to move with the opponent once you've caught them, and it can KO at a very decent percent. If you rapidly tap B during Doc Cyclone, you'll rise up a bit, so you can use this to bring your opponent closer to the blast zone for an easy knockout. At low percents, immediately follow your opponent's trajectory after the down throw, and use down B from the ground. At high percents, add a quick jump in to catch them before they get out of hit stun. In many cases this is a true combo, but it's really close, so your opponent can get out in time with good DI and or a buffered attack in some cases. Mario can follow up down throw with aerials other than nair, but I haven't really found any reliable true combos with it, and I don't believe there are. Up throw, on the other hand, can start combos pretty well, especially with up air or forward air if you're just that kind of player. And up throw can lead to an easy juggle scenario if you can get a read as they fall. Now, the up throw fair is called the Kobe, the LeBron, or as I like to call it, the Dr. J. On Doc, it's not only one of the coolest looking things in the game, but it's also a reliable kill confirm. For Mario, it's pretty cool, but it's less stylish. I mean, helpful on stage unless you get a pretty difficult follow-up. With Mario, I would mostly stick to up throw into full hop or double jump up air, depending on the percent. Back throw is a great knockout tool for Doc, and a great way to start an edge guard with Mario, although it can kill with Mario around the 130 to 150% area on most characters with the right positioning. By the way, back throw on Doc is faster now, but it no longer hits other enemies while you're spinning because you don't spin. This matters in doubles, but the only 1v1 matchup in which this actually changes anything is with Ice Climbers. Forward throw should only be used for getting your opponent off stage as far as I can tell, so you won't be using that one that much. At low percents, I can see it being followed up in high level play, but I just don't see the advantage of forward throw compared to up throw and down throws in most situations. Now for specials. In Melee, I would have been pretty upset if you tried to tell me that Mario's up B was better than Doc's, even if he could do an instant wall jump after it. Now, I would still say Doc's up B is better, but there are a lot more trade-offs that makes Mario's better in some situations, like obviously recovering, because Mario's up B covers a longer distance than Doc's. However, Doc's down B and pills from off stage makes up for this lack of recovery distance with reliability and mix-ups. Doc's up B can knock out much easier and is pretty reliable, while Mario's doesn't really send the opponent very far. But Doc's up B doesn't have intangibility on startup like Mario's, but Mario's intangibility is so small it barely matters. Up B is a pretty good out of shield option, by the way. Side B is Cape for Super Shoot. Because of the really projectile heavy meta that it looks like Ultimate is going to have, at least at first, I can see Cape being a really useful move in neutral now in some matchups. Doc and vanilla Mario's down Bs are way different. Mario's is Flood, which is a chargeable projectile kind of attack that pushes your opponents away without doing present. It's really great for gimping your opponent's recovery or just pushing them away from center stage. As I showed before with down throw follow-ups, Doc's down B is pretty much Meta Knight's neutral B. If you mash it, you gain vertical height, which can be used for recovery, and it's great for falling down on your opponents with one. Knocks at a decent percent and does a lot of damage. Now it's time for the age-old question. Pills or fireballs? Well, pills. They do more damage, travel at a much better trajectory, they're way bigger now so they're harder to dodge, and you can yell "eat your medicine" while circle camping your friends. But actually, Mario's fireballs are only a small part of his game plan, while in some matchups, Doc's pills are his game plan. Doc wants the opponent to approach him, and what better way to force an approach than by jumping and mashing the B button. Pills are great for starting combos, although they do have increased knockback from previous games so they're harder to follow up, but better if you land one on an opponent that's off stage. Practicing getting your pills to bounce and land just right is key to playing Doc well. Mario's fireballs can do the same kind of stuff as Doc's pills, but they just aren't as good all around and should be used very sparingly. With both of the projectiles though, you should try to use them right after short hopping, so that you can follow after them for an easier approach. In my other guides on Young Link and Yoshi, I talked about how to counter those characters as well. But playing against Mario doesn't really require much in terms of a specific strategy. Because of this, I'll be talking a bit more generally about strategy and counterplay in one section, as opposed to my previous guides. The Marios are all-round balanced characters, so just use your character's unique strengths against them. The Marios can do pretty much anything at least decently and should be constantly mixing things up, while their opponent can just use their strengths to exploit the fact that the Marios are generally not amazing at anything in particular. Neither of the Marios have particularly great hitboxes, so it's relatively easy to set their approaches, but spamming projectiles at long range doesn't really work on either of the Marios due to cape, pills, and fireballs. Against the Marios, you really have to switch up between approaching while you're behind and forcing approaches while you're in the lead, just as the Mario should do the same. When you do approach the Mario's fireballs can be easily maneuvered around, and Doc's pills can be knocked out by long hitboxes like swords. In terms of positioning, almost always be on center stage, unless you're strategically pill camping for percent or to force an approach. Both of the Marios have great defense when being attacked from above, so opponents should attack them from below or horizontally more often. Neither of the Marios out of shield options are that great, so feel free to pressure them or go for a grab. But just remember that Mario can move farther with aerials out of shield due to his airspeed, and if you get perfect shielded by Doc, you're in for a world of hurt. Now for matchups, I personally think Doc has a pretty easy time against a lot of characters that people are saying are top tier, like Pikachu, the Belmonts, and Inkling. I actually love playing against Inkling as Doc because you can easily pill camp to wait for them to run out of ink or for ink to get off you. Doc also does quite well against a few other characters that a lot of people seem to struggle against, like King K. Rool and Sheik. Mario, however, I do not think does as well in these matchups because he doesn't have pills or the Doc Tornado. The upside to Mario, however, is that in matchups that Doc struggles in, Mario does a bit better because of his recovery and airspeed. Generally, I would say Doc does better against very light or very heavy characters, while Mario prefers fighting midweights that can be comboed but also can be knocked out. I think the biggest question as to how good both Marios will do in the next few months is how well will sword characters do against them, specifically the 4 Morph-like characters. Honestly, I think Chrome's recovery makes him easily gimpable by Doc's pills or Mario's flood, and Lucina doesn't have quite as much of the spacing power that Marth has, so she can't abuse her hitboxes as much. Marth and Roy, however, I feel are the bane of the Marios. Roy can fare through Doc's pills with the tip of his sword, and can then easily get close enough with his speed to punish him with the hilt of his sword. The same goes for Marth, but he can be a bit farther away when he punishes. Mario doesn't even have pills, so this is a moot point for him, but Marth and Roy can easily still slice through Mario because Mario's airspeed, frame data, and hitboxes are just straight up outclassed by these two swordsmen. Against the Fire Emblem characters, your goal with Doc should be to chip away and force your opponent's approaches with pills while making hard reads to get close and punish them. And for Mario, you should be weaving in and out, trying to force your opponent into an edgeguard situation, rather than going for a straight up knockout. These principles apply to Doc and Mario in pretty much every matchup, but against characters that the Marios struggle with, you really have to stick to your character's optimal game plan. Also, both Marios are fairly easily juggled, so characters that can juggle easily like Cloud have a great time against the Marios. Being below or next to the opponent is pretty key with them, so keep that in mind. Thanks to everyone watching, and especially thanks to all the people that liked and commented on my last videos. It's honestly really motivating to hear that some of my guides have been helping people, and I plan to keep that up while stepping up my game. If you enjoyed this video, give it a like and check out my other two guides on Young Link and Yoshi. Thanks to everyone who subscribed, and peace.